in the background. I'm just trying to decide if there's anything else that I need to have easily accessible. I don't think so. Oh, yes, I do. I need to have the YouTube stuff. Where is that? Should be live on YouTube now. There it is. Of course, it's it's not that. It is Primessence. It's got the wrong details. Save. And then most importantly, the wrong details. I need the chat. Pop that out. Bring that down here. Okay, so what are we doing? This is something a little bit different. Recently discovered this tool. It's basically a world building thing. It lets you build worlds and then simulate them. So what we are going to do is attempt to create the world of Primessence, which is the setting that I have been producing for a future D&D thing. So basically, we want to create this. I probably won't bother with the southern area. I'll just do something like that. So we've got humans, we've got elves, we've got dwarves in various locations down here as well. We've got orcs coming in off the top, and then minotaurs and centaurs. In the sandbox, there are 4 base races: humans, dwarves, orcs, and elves. Orcs, I'm probably going to sub in for goblins. We'll just give them some weaker traits, because it is possible to make sub-races, and we are going to do sub-races for the North humans, the South humans, the boat humans, and possibly also the West humans. I haven't decided, which is the humans over here. Minotaurs, it is possible to have various types of animal, so like cows, sheep, chickens, etc. You might see where this is going. I'm probably going to have a race of cows who are sentient, so can build buildings like the 4 regular races. So, yeah, that is where I am thinking right now. So I'm going to keep this open probably over on this screen, which is going to be somewhat covering up chat. Just move things around a little bit more. There we go. That should do better. So we're going to go ahead and close this. We are going to start a new world. Honestly, just give me a blank canvas. Let's make this huge. Gives us a bit more space to play with. And then I am going to need to take a look to see where my face is best. And actually, there, I think is okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so we need to go. Yeah, we want to pause the game as well. What is the edge of the world? That is a good question. Let me zoom out a little bit more on my own screen over on this side. I want to have something like that. So we are going to start making everything close ocean. No. Yeah, close ocean. Thought this was a fill. Oh no, that's on a... No, that's removing that stuff. I was hoping that there was a fill button, but apparently there is not. So we're just going to do a very big tool like this, and we're just going to fill in everything with close ocean. And as soon as I unpause it, so we are in fact going to have this running really slowly. So let's go with half speed. That is then going to fill in, and that shows me actually what my space is. So we want to fill everything else in. So I have this color water that I know what it does. All right, so that is our canvas. So we are then going to need to fill in the land. So the way that this works is you can paint in either sand, soil, or forest soil, and then basically plant different biomes with these tools here. So the first thing we do is create the different land types. And I think the way we do this is plain soil. And we have a vague structure, which is kind of land that goes out here, goes up around the top. Actually goes all the way to the top. And then let's get rid of that. I need a smaller tool. This is filling in too much at once. Let's go with like that size. Plain soil. So again, let's actually, you know what, even better. Let's just do the outline of the land. So we have kind of the thing that goes down there. This is the bit that connects to the southern continent. I have a feeling that we should probably be more over on that side. And it kind of comes around here. This is where the dwarven territories are. The dwarves are on the coast. You know what? Nope. Still don't like it. This is going to take a minute. Let's go with something even thinner. And then plain soil. This is literally just drawing an outline. Let's go with that. There we go. All right, so we want the dwarven. Let's actually start with the dwarven area. So we have kind of the southern bit that comes out like this. Comes around the edge, right up to the edge, but not at the edge. Tips in a little. Goes up like this to where the centaur land is. The centaur land is up to the edge. And then there's this inner sea, which then leads to the northern territories. And then this whole northern bit is kind of connected. We have over here an area that comes in roughly to this, comes in a fair bit, and juts out. This is the western human land. Comes into about there, and comes back up. And then a big bulbous, probably more like down here, reaches up, and then connects around here. Forms like so, comes down to here. Little jutty bit down, and then down to there. So that is the very, 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 very brief outline of what this world looks like. Unfortunately, I don't think I can show those side by side, which is a little annoying, but we'll be able to fill this out as well. I tried to redo a world ad in another program some time back. It's hard when you have to form something you already made in a different size in the program. It's really messy. Yeah, it definitely is. But I'm relatively happy with how this looks. I'm going to put this back over there. I think what I can probably do is make this come out a little further, like so. And then we'll turn this bit back into water. And have this come really in deep. Maybe something more like this. Oops. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a better shape. I mean, the problem is this inner ocean is kind of long and thin. It's actually more like this kind of shape that we just had up there. But I think that's going to be really hard to model on a square. Because I want to make sure that we have enough space. Whoa, no, don't speed up time. What I was trying to do was zoom in. There we go. I wonder if we should have made this in a bigger world. You know what? I think we probably should. Let's... Oops. Create a new one. Instead of huge, we'll go gigantic. And then we'll do this again. Yeah, this is looking better. Oh yeah. Way more space. Okay, so apparently the difference between huge and gigantic, or maybe it didn't save the size, because this feels significantly bigger. Like orders of magnitude bigger. I think it may have just not saved the size. Like, this is the largest ocean tool I'm using right now. And we still have shallow ocean and deep ocean that can still differentiate. This is just the middle tier, which is why I wanted to connect, color it all in. All right, so that's the ocean. So let's go back to our filling in tool. Here we go. Plain soil. So we had the dwarven area over here. Oh, this is so much better. Kind of comes down there, around. There's another dip. Comes to here, and then there's the connection. And at the connection, let's say here, it comes up, goes out a bit. Up and around, down, more like here. And then it goes up. And a relatively chunky area up to the Centaur land. And then we have this inner sea, which connects the Centaurs up there. This is so much better. Right, and here we have a little bit that comes in. Then we have the boat human lands. Then we're going up to the elven lands. Little boat human outpost. Some watery bits. And then we go to the gnomish territory. And then it comes in. And then down. And then kind of almost connects over here. Comes up this way. Juts out. Comes back in. Quite a lot. And then we have this jutting out area up here, which then comes up to the north. It's more like that. Okay, this is a lot better. I'm already happier with the shape. And actually, with this being how it is, we can probably add just a tiny bit of the continent that's down here. So it kind of juts out again, coming back out that way. And this side juts out up to here and comes out like so. Yeah, I like that a lot more. Okay, so this is going to be interesting because this is all going to be connected ocean. This is going to be one ocean, and there's a tiny, well, not tiny, but there's an inland sea over here. We do have a couple of islands and things we need to draw. Ah, really wish there was an undo. Like, I really, really wish there was an undo. Because what I wanted to do was draw those in. All right, so going back to the land tile, I think we should try to draw in some of the islands. So we have an island that's out here, which is pretty big. Something like so. And we have another island that's out here. And then a hook shaped there. That one probably can come down a bit further south because there's another one here. Which isn't that big. It's like that size. I think I need more space. Yeah, there should be more in the middle. Something like that. And then there is an island here in the middle of this. Just kind of something like that. And then we have a couple of islands here in the center. one like so, one like so, one kind of like so, a little piece there, and then probably the largest one of those islands there. There is technically a piece of the southern continent that pops up that way. And then we do have, I'm going to add it as an island, even though technically it's not, right here. In fact, there is two of them. This one should go a bit further out, because there is actually an island over here, a real one. So if this one is right about there, and there is another island which is mostly mountains there. And then finally, there are actually two bits of sea that come up the top. So if that's here, then it kind of comes in like so. And there's another one up here. It goes down to a point. So all of this bit is the inner land. So if I just bring this over to the screen, you can see that we have this outline. So we've just added these islands, this island, these islands, and we're kind of going up to here. So maybe I should add this bit. We've added these two. Like I said, this is not an island, but it's going to be important for reasons, and we just added these two seas. So yeah, we have actually gone probably a bit far south on these ones. Oh yeah, we've definitely gone far south on those. So you know what, I'm going to remove some of those because they're not all actually here. And this will allow us to play with a bit more space. Though actually, space-wise, I think they're fine. You know what, sod it, we'll leave it. It's interesting. Okay, let's go and fill this all in as plain soil so we can see where the land is, and then we can start changing the biomes after that. So color all of this in. All of this. Down to that bit. Need a slightly thinner brush for this. And then we can go back to the thick brush over here. I think I lost a little bit of the definition there, but that's fine. Ba-da-ba-da. And this should give a much better idea of how this is all actually going to look. In just a moment. Need a smaller one again. Okay. Excellent. So again, if you bear in mind the lantern we just had, doesn't the bucket on the far right with the pink paint auto fill the entire thing for you? No, it's a city, it's a nation border fill. I tried that at first. It wasn't. Now there are a bunch of rivers and things like that. Not entirely sure how to do those just yet. And actually, I kind of feel like rivers get in the way of how this simulation works, so I'm probably going to leave them out. I should add this little bit down here, though. That inland sea. Which is in this bit. So it's kind of in there. So if we go for a much smaller, this is going to be shallow waters for sure. It's kind of a lake that's in here. Huh. You actually need to fill in. That's interesting. And we can add more shores later. In fact, let's do that now. Let's get the shallow waters in. So the shallow water, I think I'm basically just going to trace around the coast. Most likely with more shallow water in the center of the big lake here that we're in. Even though this is a sea, this is more like the Mediterranean. But a lot of this was already land. And in fact, you can kind of see that there would be a continental shelf that came out to... It's about there. And then the central part is actually a lot deeper. I have no idea what the difference between shallow, mid-level, and deep water is. I wonder if it's the kind of ships that can sail here. I'm not sure. I need a smaller one to get the most out of this. Go back to this size. Maybe it's where dockyards can be built. I don't know. What I should have probably done is try to trace the shore with this tool and then fill in more with the blend tool. Never mind. This bit up here is probably all quite shallow as well. Around all of the various islands, up to maybe there. And then around the coast, over here. Now this is starting to draw in some sand areas, some beaches, which I like. But because we're so zoomed out, I'm not really going to bother with beaches on a piece-by-piece basis. It is possible to do that and basically trace around even more like I'm doing. But I kind of want there to be as much arable land as possible, so I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this. Although actually some of these islands are mostly sand. And this northern area might not actually be as shallow because it goes straight out into the mountains. It's basically cliff sides. And that is another thing we're going to need to play with a little bit because mountains are completely inhospitable. So what we're probably going to use is hills that represent the hospitable mountains, and then mountains for the completely untenable areas. I will show you a bit more about what I mean when we get to that, though. This is It's supposed to be like a glacial inlet, so it probably wouldn't actually be that shallow. But I will leave it as such. These bits up here, whoa, zoomed in too much there. Definitely shallow. At least this bit. I'm very curious to see if they're going to use these inland seas or not. My guess would be probably. This one as well. I need something there. And then over here. And then down here as well. Kind of feel like this bit should be jutting out more than it does. Yeah, I think it should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little deeper. This. Something like that. And we still need to draw in shallow water around here. Trying very hard not to damage the shape of these islands too much. Okay. So those are those placed. I'm pretty happy with that. There's no shallows around this. Then actually we do have a couple of areas of deep ocean. Surrounding this is absolutely going to be one of them. Actually, no. This is shallow water. Because the continent actually came out further than I remembered. It's actually more like that. All of this was destroyed when the magical explosion happened. And then sunk beneath the waves. So actually the deep bit is going to be entirely surrounding this. Something like so. And then we'll get much bigger because this is deep ocean out here. And similarly, it goes quite deep out this way. A little bit in there. And then absolutely up there. All right, so those are the different areas of ocean that we have. Gives it a little bit more definition. Looks quite good. So again, as the reminder, this is what we're making. So we've just made the shallow sea comes out to about here. The deeper bits here in the middle, and then coming around here at the top. These bits. This might actually be an inland sea. I haven't actually drawn anything further east, so I have no idea what the geography here looks like. All I know is that this goes out to the east and this goes out to the east, although this might just be a little bit. I honestly haven't decided. But probably this is an inland sea as well. Created somehow. Okay. I think it's time to add some definition in terms of the inland areas. So the hilly areas. Now, as I mentioned, there are hills, there are mountains, and there are summits. Mountains people can build on. Sorry, hills people can build on. Mountains, I don't think they can. And then summits, they absolutely cannot. So for the most part, I'm going to use hills, maybe a few mountains. Yeah. So let's do these first. So there's a couple of them that are quite important to get right. Primarily down here, because this is where the dwarves are. So the dwarven area. This is still too big. Let's go. Yeah, that size fine. So there's kind of mountains that come out here, kind of go out into the middle, and then back a bit, and then down there, and then around. And there's an area of mountains here, and then a tiny bit there. And this bit of mountain comes really out to there. Okay, and then on the other side of that, we have more mountains, which kind of stretch. These are way thinner. Kind of like this, down and around. With a few more mountains in there. Something like that. So where are the really summity areas, the really hard bits to get to? I think they're going to be kind of in there. And there's a few more that are here. There are no real mountains in this area, which is nice to see. Okay. Where else do we have mountains? We have some going further north. We have some around the centaur area. Kind of a little space in there. And then we have some in the middle, which is where the Duragar are from. A little piece there. And then further north, we have a mountainous section in here. Another bit up there. A few little pieces here. Little piece there. And then we have a big old chunk of mountains up here. It's too big. Better. Which comes down south along the coast. Then it gets significantly thinner. Kind of comes down and then shelters around there. Don't have this very well done, but that's fine. So that's that mountain range. Then we have the fire giant mountain area, which is hard to define. Where is that? watery bit. It's way over there. It's probably... Well, let's start with this area. And actually, this is going to require quite a bit more definition. But we can do that in just a moment. So we have mountains that come in kind of like this. Like this. And these ones that come in a fair bit further north. So do these. We have a chunk that comes out here. And then we have another chunk that comes up around here like that. And up. This should be bigger. Area like that, which I think is where the Goliaths were. And then this is the bit I was struggling with, because this mountain range continues up all the way up to here. Down to there. And then forms a bit of a valley. And this is all quite mountainous. Let's go all the way down to there. And this actually kind of comes snaking around there. I think I've done a little bit too much in here. That's better. Okay. What is this based on, actually? This is a world that I've been building called Primessence. So it's this. Let's see if I can find a version which is just the terrain. I may not have one that's just the terrain. Oh, this one is. This shows the different weather patterns that I've developed over time. Come on. What opened you? Oh, you're still loading. Might take a second because we are running a rather big game in the background. That does not seem to want to open. It's taking its sweet time, but it's this. And the mountains I've just been tracing is these. So what I need to do is go in and add some water in here. To get that kind of Norwegian coastline feel a bit better. So let's go in with the close ocean. And this is the really big one. Kind of comes in like this. Something like that. It's not exact, but it'll do. And there are actually a couple of smaller islands littered up here, but I'm not sure that they'll really be worth adding. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted close ocean. So we have like a little island there, little island there, little island in there. They're a bit bigger than they actually are, but that's... no, I hate it. Thanks, I hate it. better. Okay, right. There are a few more mountainy areas down here. There's a little... It's too big. A little area right in there. A little area down there. A little area here in the middle. A little bit there. And then in this sector, there is a mountain range kind of here in the middle. Not a very big one though. And then another one kind of right about there. Oh, and then there's one up here too. I think there's also one there. Okay, so those are the general mountain ranges. Is there anything? Oh yeah, there's a big one in the south. There is actually a big old mountain range that kind of goes all the way there. And then another one which is right about there. And another one right about there. And there too. And then this island has some... This island is entirely mountain. No, wrong one. This one is entirely mountain. It's actually a little bit right about there. This should, I think, actually come a bit further south than it does. Yeah, this should actually come down to about here. But that's fine. Okay, so those are those mountains. Now, where are the impassable mountains? That is the question. We've already drawn those in. There are a few over here, kind of like so. I'm going to find the truly high bits. There are some in this bit, right in here. And there's a whole bunch of them over on this side. So virtually this whole section is just impassable mountain. And then there's a smaller bit. There's that bit in here. And in here. This central area. Something like that. And then, no, I'm going to actually leave that one as it is. Because I'm fairly sure that people cannot build in these high mountains. They can only build in these bits, which is why we have dwarves. Like, I want to make sure that there's mountainous areas that dwarves in particular can populate. It's also, I think, where a lot of the minerals are going to be. And you can actually see the game's already started to spawn some. Like, these are stone. There's probably iron. We'll play around a bit more because I do have a mineral map of where things will live. Oh, yeah, the Shield Mountain. Yeah, this whole area is one giant mountain. That's true. Yeah, good point. Yes. So the shield mountains kind of go all the way up the side here. And then out onto this peninsula, which I will need a smaller piece for. And the shield mountains had nothing which was not inhabitable. Like the gnomes are pretty well colonized this sector. Yeah. This is way too big. This should actually come out more to like there. And then wasn't there like another inner area? There was. Nothing spawned here, that's surprising. Yeah, so there's more mountain bits. Like right and north this bit here. Little mountain bit there. Little bit mountain there. Then there was another mountain kind of coming around the top here. I really don't like the shape of that bit. It's completely wrong. So let's redraw it. This is close ocean. And it actually kind of comes in more on the side. Like so. Oh wait, this is shallow. Stupid. Something like that. And then actually the ground here is connected like so. That's a lot better. Although I still think it kind of comes down more this way. It kind of comes in more like so. Better. Get rid of this. Because there are actually mountains surrounding the Feywild. That's that. That's that. This is way too big. That's fine. So the Feywild, okay, this is coming out the wrong way. Should be coming out this way. And then coming down a bit like so. This should in fact all be that. Actually, this should not come this far down. It's not entirely true. It should come down like this. And less like this. So actually the Feywild is in this bit. This is not nearly as big as the Feywild actually is. Hang on. I'm confusing myself. This is the Shield Mountains. Like the shape of that sector is just wrong. I think partially because this comes in too far and this goes out too far. And this is not as bulbous as it's shown there. It's actually more like It's more over here for a start. So let's color that bit in and then do this bit again. It's kind of like here, and it's a little peninsula. And there is a tiny bit that goes up there. That's a little better. It's not ideal. Technically, this runs right up to it. Okay, so Feywild should actually be in here. So let's have you come around this way. Yeah, this is better. Goes like that. The Feywild is north of this. It's in here. And the Feywild does have a mountain range that kind of protects its flank. This bit is really hard to trace. Kind of comes out to here. I think this is in completely the wrong place. I think that's supposed to be about there. Yeah, it is. Because the big river system comes up here. Okay, I think that for now will work. Okay, let's add forest soil. So this is where trees will grow. And the forest soil, obviously, super dense, where the Feywild is, which is all in here. It kind of comes all the way down to here. All the way up to this. How far down does it go, though? Most of the way. This is way too far north. Should be about there. Because the Feywild comes up to this. And then it comes up to about here. It might be a bit far north, but it's fine. We'll make it work. Right, then let's take a look at the different types of biome. It's not jungle. It's definitely not arcane desert. It's just very heavy forest. Well, let's see if we just add some tree fertilizer. Bearing in mind we are currently playing on quote-unquote the slowest setting. So we'll see if any trees grow. Because damn it, they should. Let's... Increase the speed a little bit, see if any trees take off. No, because I think we still haven't set a biome for this. It has to be one of these. The trees look like ghosts. So the birch forest is going to be where this is. And then I wonder if I need to put the tree fertilizer to make sure that we have trees growing here in large quantities. Because this should be one of the most densely forested, unwelcoming to anyone who's not an elf area imaginable. Because it's also where the Underdark is. It's where the canopy's grown so thick. Speaking of which, we do have corrupted territory, and a part of this is definitely going to be corrupted because that's where the drow are. Okay, so now if I get the tree fertilizer, hang on. Let's do the corrupted seed. So the drow are kind of here. That's the Underdark. It does kind of go all the way up. All right, tree fertilizer. Let's go. There we go. Give trees. Give many, 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 many trees. All of the trees. And the reason it works this way is because, yeah, people can cut them down. Again, this is simulator. This kind of can simulate like the creation of a planet. So we have the Feywild and the Underdark. Both of them next to each other. Cool. Then the Gnomish area. The Gnomish area is relatively habitable. But I wouldn't say it's lush. And actually, there's an area of the Feywild which is right in here, which is like really, really, really nice. Except it looks like all the trees just died. Okay. This is the center of the Feywild. Okay, then let's see. Let's go with like lemon seeds, I guess. I don't know for where the gnomes are. And we do have forest gnomes who are kind of in this area. But I don't think we can grow trees in that area. No, you can't do it on the mountains. We do want to have a couple of fruit bushes. Don't want it to be too fertile. That's where they're going to be able to forage food from. And it's already starting to grow outwards. The grass is spreading. Okay, then as we go south, this is where the just regular grassland is. This area is fertile. It's nice. And there are a couple of little wooded areas in this area, which we'll deal with in just a moment. I wish this didn't sprinkle, it just coloured. It's going to take a while. Let's use a bigger brush. There we go. That's better. So this is where the West humans are. There are a couple of areas of forest, although not very many of them. Will trees grow in areas that are not specifically tree fertile? I wonder. Yes. Yes, they will. A bit more of the south is also forested, like down here. Not as dense as this bit, but we have a couple of little woodlands. None of the islands are, in fact, the islands I would say are just straight up savanna. As would the southern continent be. And in fact, some of these are in large part sand. Let's make this a bit smaller. So this northern area is mostly sand. The southern bit of that is. And the only one that isn't is this southern island, which actually might be a bit more grasslandy. So we'll add some grassland bits around there. Okay, that is looking good, except I think there is one area of missing fertilizer, which is just in there. And then we also want to add a couple of fruit bushes. So the areas that are really, really farmable, there's also some swampy land down here in the south, is in here. So that area is really lush with food stuff. Otherwise, there's actually another section in here. And then also a little bit up in the north. Something like that. Okay, now we're getting to the goblin area. And actually, for the most part, this southern bit is fairly nice. It's just grassland. At least up to about here. And a part of that is forested. It is the more nice part of, or the milder part. Oh, right, we need more biome. That biome actually, let's go maple. Is all of this. I would say probably all of this too. Because those areas are also going to be heavily forested. But not as crazy as this. And we'll also have a sprinkling of berries, particularly down here. That's where the farming area is. Otherwise, it's just kind of open, nothing particularly special. Yeah, I think that works. Although in the far north, we do have an Arctic area, so we need some permafrost. That's what all of this is, because this is where the frost giants come from. And there is, in fact, a large area in here which is just permafrost. It's a glacier. And I'm going to need to cut down those trees because I don't think there's any trees in that bit. There we go. However, as we go over this side, there is an even bigger glacier. Oh, that's what I'm missing. That's why this is so big. There's another, like, valley in here. That's fine. I'm not going to change things too much now. I think I'm just going to add more permafrost. Kind of goes down to here. And then below that is maple forest with a smattering of trees, but not a lot. Something like that. And then going south of that into this region, we have a relatively nice area. It's not the nicest, but it's not bad. And I think actually that kind of carries on. Pretty much all the way. So let's go with a bigger brush and just go like all of this. At least down to there. Is just decent temperate territory. Then going up there into the north, we have savanna again. This is the steppe. And then the far, far north, permafrost. Okay, cool. Now, where are the forested areas? Here, there's actually a fairly large forest in the middle. Let's get a smaller brush, kind of like in there. And then we have some more forests down here. We have a big old forest over here. And this bit in the middle is something else. That is also me. No forests, it's just maple. And then farming. I wish there was a way of determining like the density of how thick this is going to be. Something like that. There are actually large parts of swamp that we're going to need to add. But we'll get to that. Then there's another steppe which is up here. That's going to be savanna again. Which is just this whole section. And then the middle bit. I think we might go with lemon again. Don't know what exactly lemon means, but I'm going to go with lemon for this middle bit. It's kind of warm temperate, like what you'd expect in Greece or Italy. And there we do have a couple of little pockets of trees. Mostly over on that side. That's it really. But there is a bit of food in the middle of that. All right, coming south. We're starting to get to the dwarven realms. These are too far north. They should actually be about there. Never mind. So we have the halfling area, which is probably actually the most rich area. Flower. Yeah. So this is the halfling area, which is really food bountiful. Probably one of the most bountiful regions in the world. The only other place being in here. Probably add a bit more. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm wondering to see you being the Bob Ross of world building here. It kind of feels like there's like a dash of thing here. Pretty little tree over there. Yeah. I mean, we're getting there. It's starting to look a bit more world-like. Happy little forests. That's the way to say it. This is definitely grassland. This is where the plains dwarves are from. Though maybe not the bit closest to the mountain. And I think the bit south too. Yes, definitely. But here in the middle, desert. So for that, I think we're literally just going to go sand. And that goes all the way. Oh, this over these things, so be careful. Yeah, there as well. Up to about there. Then after that, we have grass. And also grass in here. Okay, then we have got some forests, predominantly in here. And also sprinkling in there. And a tiny bit in there. And then we have some farming areas. Farming areas mostly up there. And then there's a nice little farming bit in there as well, which is where the capital is now. And that's about it. I'm going to say that there's a tiny bit more. Okay. What's the plants fertilizer? Oh, it's just plants. Let's use that just to spruce up the rest. So it's not so monochrome. There we go. Okay, then we come over to the southern human realm, which is predominantly grassland, although there is a sector in the middle which is not. But actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint this whole area grass, because it basically is. And then we're going to get... Oh, it was enchanted is what I was looking for. I think it's actually enchanted over here. There we go. Probably let's go garlic. Make this a bit smaller. Huzzah! There's the garlic that's kind of here in the middle. This is where the fantasy biome of this game really comes in. Alright, trees. So we have trees over here. We have quite a few trees up here. We have a little copse of trees down there. Copse of trees down there. And that's about it. And then there is a very fertile area kind of here in the middle. And frankly, kind of this whole area is pretty nice. There's a reason the southern humans were the first human nation to really develop. And let's just go with small plants just to fill it in. Okay, is there anything else that comes out in the middle here? Yeah, there's trees that kind of are in there. And farming, not so much. Just add a few. All right, so that's that bit. Next up, oh, we have the islands. These islands are actually mostly fertile and mostly forested. And that bit, I think, is basically the same. Had some berry bushes out there as well for them to have some food. Okay, so I think we've got a good smattering of different resources. Which we can use as the basis. And that's how our world is looking. It's becoming more recognizable, that's for sure. Lusquath the Innkeeper coming in with an 84-month resubscription. Thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. 7 years of just good business. Heck yeah! And then we have this central island. What's the nastiest, most horrible thing that can possibly happen? Corrupted? Infernal. Except it's not. It's dangerous, but I'm not actually going to say it's infernal. There's a better crystal. Because this is the area where you can get Primessence from. However, there is a little bit of corruption right in the middle, which you probably don't want to get too close to. And there's also a little bit of corruption up here. That's where one of the infernal gates was. The other one being down here where the knolls are. Which is why I'm kind of tempted to make this a little bit bigger, just to see if I can get something which are like the knolls. Yeah, why not? Let's expand this a little. Just so they have some space to play with. So I want plain soil. I want to grow this out. I'm going to make this grassland. And then the thing about the gnolls is they are ravenous. So they need to have lots of food. That's where the gnolls will start. Okay. This island is luscious. Does it have trees? It does have trees. And also some berries. There we go. Cool. Now, can I save things at this point? Because I'd really like to. Yes, I can. So this is going to be Primessence, no life. Save. Save. So this is like the base template. Nothing else has happened yet. I love that you can recognize this from way back when. Yeah, thanks. I'm actually really happy about that. It's got the shape down. Like, there are some things which are a little bit weird. Like this, I think, should come further out rather than going further up. So it's kind of skewed a little bit. The dwarves, I think, should be not as high up. Come out a bit more out here. But yeah, I actually kind of like this. Age of Hope doesn't sound all that hopeful. It's just the starting age. But this is where things are going to get interesting, because we have actually been slowly letting time pass. So what I want to do is, and we've got to make sure we are on the absolute slow note. In fact, now we are going to pause. So, southern humans. Oh, animals, first of all. Yeah. So we have a couple of areas that are kind of dangerous. We will add a few wolves. Add a few wolves up there. Wolves in there because it's dangerous. Wolves in there because it's dangerous. Oh, you know what? We have forgotten the absolutely most important area. The swamps. They're kind of critical. So do we have jungle? I think we do. Yes. No, jungle's not what I wanted. I want swamp. I know there's swamp. I thought there was swamp. Where's the swamp? There's the swamp. All right, so the swamps. This is where the trolls are, and this is the super dangerous areas. This is swamp. This is swamp. And this is swamp. This should be grass. And in the swamps there are trees. There's nothing particularly nice, but there are lots and lots and lots and lots of bears. Bears, what we are calling trolls. You don't want to be in those areas. Bears are nasty, they are tough, they hit hard. You don't want to mess with them. Okay. Wolves, slightly less nasty. I'm just going to add a couple of wolves around just to add an element of danger. I'd say particularly here in the north. We've added some there. Add some there. Okay, that's going to be good. And then humans. No, there's one more race I want. Oh, we do have ostriches. Interesting. I want... Oh, we unlock seals. Cool. Fox. Foxes. Are going to be down there. Actually, can I kill them off? Because I've realized I made a mistake with these foxes. They're supposed to be all genetically linked, which is what that symbol is. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, how do I edit them? That's not how. This is how. So these are not foxes, these are gnolls. Wait, that's your name. Like I can just play with these buttons. I could have sworn that there was a way of editing the race subspecies. There it is. This is the gnoll. Ah. And the gnolls have various traits. So I want them to be large population based. I want them to be really aggressive. Which I'm sure is one of these options. They are voracious. They are carnivores. Absolutely. They are aggressive. All right, So that's those. The bears I'm going to leave as bears, because bears are already aggressive from the start. So this is how we create the subraces. Then the next thing is, oh yeah, high fecundity, that's true. That's not what I wanted. I want to see your subrace. Oh, this limits what their population. No, you're definitely going to have high pop. Species have a huge appetite, yes. They're probably going to kill themselves off on this island, I'm not going to lie. They're a horde race. Yeah, that's all they do. Okay, let's do the southern humans. Now, the humans, we're not going to touch. We're just going to place them in the world. So the southern humans were based like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they start with the highest population, 20 people, which is actually pretty huge. Then we have the North humans. They're going to get 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, the nice thing is, because I have made these physically so separated, they are going to be themselves their own subraces. Then we're going to have the West humans, although it's technically the North humans that came down here, but let's add like 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then we have the boat people. The boat people can come from the island. And we should probably actually have a couple of them. Just little groups of 5 people. 5. And then we have halflings. Go back. Don't want to be placing you. So these are halflings. And they're going to be cautious. They don't want to get into fights. They are big-stomached. Omnivores, that's fine. Don't think they need any others. The main thing is just that I'm naming them. So then these guys down here are southern human. Am I doing southern human or am I making these plural? Halfling? No, I'm not. Okay. So southern human are just like that. These guys, anything which no. Anything which is not defined is going to be a boat person. I don't think that they can make their additional subhumans unless they actually start mutating. If that happens, it happens. Okay, so those are the humans. Elves. So we do have a large population of wood elves and also drow elves over here. So let's start the wood elves up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's have drow elves down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's have a second wood elf. Need to make sure that they're not connecting to anything else. Nah, it's fine. Over here we do have gnomes. So we have forest gnomes, which we'll put up here just for the distancing. Finding them again is not going to be easy. Forest gnome. Forest gnomes, I am going to give some traits to. They're going to be cautious, and they are going to be herbivores only. Then we have the wood elves. Eeyore. And I'm just going to leave you as is. And then down here we have the drow elves. Eeyore instead of Eeyore, obviously. Elvis elegans corruptus. Drow elf. And the drow elves are going to be... How do I make them evil, I wonder? I'm not sure. Oh, I should add Goliaths. Yeah, I definitely should. I can make them aggressive. I'll make them aggressive. Goliaths were one of these two. I think they were in here. So they would be a human species. They're only a small population. And these guys are cold resistant. Alright, then we have high elves, which is going to be probably like a 15 population. Then we have well, no, we have Minotaurs, which I'm going to set up here. And the way I was going to do Minotaurs was they're a cow. And the cool thing about this is Minotaur. What we can do is we can give them an advanced brain, which means they can build buildings and everything like that. And these guys love building things, like actually constructing. So we should give them... Slow builder. They're already fast builders. Cool. So those are the Minotaurs. Keep an eye out for them. We are also going to have Centaurs out here. The Centaurs can be sheep. We'll have North Centaur and South Centaur. And these... can have cultures and religions, but nothing else. Then we have the South Centaurs down here. They also have cultures and religions. They can't build buildings. And technically we should have ogres. Be orcs. I have 7 of them. And these are ogre. Oh wait, this is the person. Not the subrace. And ogres can do everything, but they're a bit slow. Slow builder. Voracious. That'll do. We do have 2 sets of goblins. We have the island goblins out here, which are also going to be orcs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Island goblin. And I'm just going to leave them as is. Actually, the island goblin is not going to be aggressive. And then we also have the... What do we call these? Shoot, what do we call the other goblins? Didn't define the Western human subtype, you said you named a human Western human. Okay, we'll take a look at that. I guess Conqueror Goblin? And these definitely are aggressive. Now, what I'd really like to be able to do is place down some more with those subtypes. So I'd like to be able to choose what subclass of orc I've made. Because I'd like to have multiple different clans. Because one of the really interesting things you can do in this is you can just have like multiple different kingdoms, and then they'll actually set themselves up as kingdoms, facing off and fighting against each other and stuff. Right, so the Western humans was these guys. Oh, yes, you're right. You're now called Boris. Congratulations. Dwarves. So we have the mountain dwarves, we have the desert dwarves, and we have the plains dwarves. So down, let's say down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are going to be the mountain dwarves. And they... Just leave them as dwarves. Then up here we will have regular dwarf, plains dwarf. And then finally, the smallest population, desert dwarves. Okay. And I do want to add my one little unique race, they are going to be bunny rabbits. These are going to be the castanen. These are the beavers. Because what I'm hoping I can do is give you a diet of leaves and plants. Yeah. Okay, are there any others? Potentially harpies, but we haven't really defined anything about them. Really wish there was like a clone or copy or something. Oh, right. There are different... these are all new. I've recently unlocked them. Dragon. Oh, we don't have the Ice Oasis. Um, that would be in here. That would be permafrost. Technically a hill. Do that. Let's go plain soil instead then. Unfortunately, this guy might well just end up killing all of the dwarves over here. Okay. Oh, I can't change his stats or anything. So he's our ice dragon. We'll see what happens with him. I'm curious. Boat humans. Did we do the boat humans? That's what these guys are, isn't it? Right, I didn't define them because there's so many different ones of them. The problem I was having is how do I assign them a subrace? Because really there should be multiple boat humans. But I think this is going to be fine. I kind of want to let this start running. Is there anything obvious we are missing? Duragar. Yes, there is. You have the Duragar over here. And these guys... I thought there might be a way of making them nocturnal. Not that they really are. No, it's fine. I really wish I could have more pockets of people. But what I'm going to do is we're going to save... Oh no, do not create a new world. Oh gosh, that would have been annoying. Alright, I think we are ready to start unpausing this and see what the hell happens. So immediately we have the various different factions creating their capital. This is what I mean. Like, I wanted them to have multiple different groups spread out, preferably. Did my amazing idea with the cows not form a society? And the sheep? No, it doesn't look like they did. Damn! Did the southern humans not build anything? No, they still haven't built anything. They're too busy fighting these wolves. Or are they trying to tame them? No, they're trying to kill them. Where's the dragon gone? The desert dwarves were immediately wiped out by the bears. Oh, I forgot to add more minerals to the world. No, it's fine. There seems to be a decent scattering of them. Yeah, okay, I need to replace the desert dwarves. Where is that dragon gone? I knew it was a bad idea putting a dragon in. There he is. Okay, I'm going to kill the dragon off, because you're just kind of too dangerous. And we're going to restart the desert dwarves. Let's start them over here. Okay. Was anyone else wiped out immediately? Boat humans. Probably again by the bears. Okay. Hang on, we did have boat humans over here. Didn't we? Yes. They just haven't built anything. But I do think I want to start another boat human faction over here. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. Is that 5? 5. And we did have another boat human there. So there are a couple of boat humans around. Did the ogres get wiped out? The ogres got wiped out. Because of the centaurs. Okay. Wait, were these the ogres? Those were the ogres. They went north. Oh well, I guess we get a second clan of ogres. These were the high elves. And you can see that they're actually really starting to develop their own society now. They were given the space, they have the food, and they have the woodland. How are these elves doing? Oh, they have started. Wood elves, drow elves. I didn't add the gnomes. Yeah, I didn't. So we have 6 of you. These are rock gnomes. And then we have the forest gnomes. Wait, I did do the forest gnomes. They must have died out. Because I made them herbivore. Northern humans, island goblins. The hell happened down here? These were, I think, boat humans. No, these were the western humans. They were probably killed by the dragon. Because, yeah, I'm not seeing any western humans. Alright, let's add some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Southern, western, northern. Did the boat humans die again? I think they did. There are some boat humans over here. I'm just not sure that they have the space to actually do anything. So they're going to be tribal pretty much forever. Yeah, these boars and bears are just going absolute nuts over here. I wasn't expecting them to travel so much. I wish there was a way of just killing people. Wiped out the dwarves over here too. This is going so well. So far, the humans and the conquering goblins are doing the best. Northern humans are almost wiped out. Ah! I don't really know what to do about this. Just confirm that kill all life literally means... No, it doesn't. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to... How do I load a save? The game? Okay, it actually quits. So let's start that up again. And this time, we are going to... Oh, wow. I just realized how dark my background is getting. should be better. Saves. I want to load this one. You keep naming things after yourself, eventually it gets weird. Nah, no it doesn't. It's fine. Okay, so these centaurs are fine. But like all of the bears that we have over here are going to have to go. But I have a solution of what I can do about this. So they all die. They all die. They all die. The centaurs, I think, should be fine. Maybe. What I was thinking of doing instead is adding 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are going to be the Eastern Troll. Western Troll. Southern Troll. And hopefully my having given them less people means that they won't go completely ham in terms of growth. Oh yeah, and I need to kill the dragon too. Boop. Oh, where he dies burns. Desert dwarves. Halflings. No, those are the southern trolls. Where are the damn desert dwarves gone? I could have sworn that there was a way of... Oh yes, I also want to change world laws to turn off natural disasters. I'll leave the other disasters on because they're kind of interesting. I want to find all of the different subspecies. I thought there was a way of getting a list of them. I just don't remember how. Yeah, there's a lot of more monsters in this than I expected. And these are all the things you can use to basically kill your own people. There's a way. Just remembered if I go here and then subspecies. These are all the different things. Southern, northern, boat, halfling, wood elf, drow elf, Goliath, high elf, minotaur, north centaur, south centaur, ogre, island goblin, conqueror goblin, mountain dwarf, plains dwarf, desert dwarf. There are still 7 of them alive. But we did forget someone, which we added later. Rock gnome. Drow elf, wood elf. Yeah, I don't think I've got either of the gnomes here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are going to be forest gnome. And then we're going to go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, because they are more numerous. And these are going to be rock gnomes. They get started a little later, but that's fine. Now, there are a couple of things which I did want to do, which I kind of forgot. Which is add resources. Here we go. So we want to have some ore deposits. Now we want to make these deposits smaller. Singular. And there are a number of them throughout this area. This is one of the richest ore areas in the game, so I'm happy for them to have quite a few. Then there's also mithril, of which there was quite a lot over here, I seem to remember. There should also be a fair amount by the mountain dwarves. And also gold and silver. I think actually one of the richest gold areas is in here. And there's ore in here, there's ore in there, there. There should be a massive amount of it over here because the Minotaurs were also pretty metallurgically capable. And we can also add some stone. Just make sure that we have a couple of these resources scattered around. And then I'm going to say adamantine comes over here. It's going to be kind of Primessence. There was one or two other areas of Primessence. There was mithril on here. I think that's it. We can always add more later if we feel like they should have access to them. All right, speed. Let's bring this up to speed 3 so we can actually see the development of different things. So far it does kind of look like the different factions are growing. One thing I would like to do is... who are these? These are Boathuman. One of the few places we actually named. These are... We can do better than this. We can come up with some decent names. Give me some names. So we, like, just in chat, it's like Boathuman city name, Mountain Dwarf city name, Western Human city name, Northern Human city name. I'm not going to say they're canon, because I've not spent time thinking about them, but they're better than Boathuman city. So give me some names. So space pauses, that's good to know. Goliaths, did they die out? Yes, I think they did. I think I might add the Goliaths in there. Come on! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. Goliath. And you lot are definitely frost resistant. Conqueror. Rock gnome. Maybe forest gnome. I think the forest gnomes might have been wiped out. Drow, wood, high. Minotaur! We have the Minotaur city! The cows! The cows have done it! Mountain Dwarf city name Keldar. Okay. Keldahn. I like it. What's the Troll King doing all the way out here? Also, holy crap, these guys are growing. These are the trolls. These are the eastern. Conqueror City did actually have a name. I just don't remember what it was offhand. Row. Man. Faith. Boathuman Fairshore. Oh, that's a really good name. Might have to keep that. Meanwhile, Southern Humans, 47 people already. Me, dim. Oh! That's a second Minotaur. They've had a split. So they're not owned by the same people. It's not the same kingdom. Plains dwarves doing well. Mountain dwarves, population 31. They're even higher. However, the highest population still is the Nefertine. I can probably rename this kingdom to the Eldanian Authority. No, kingdom. This is definitely the Nefertine Empire. It's Kingdom Bonan. We're going to call this the People of the Shore. This kingdom, the Rob, is going to be... I know these guys had a name, I just can't remember what it was. I need to look that up. I just can't be bothered. Minotaur city name Astarion. No, not Baldur's Gate 3. The Minotaur name in myth was Astarion. Interesting. So that's this one. Astarion. Nice. Did the Western humans get wiped? Looks like it. All right, let's bring in some new Western humans. They're a bit behind the others, but it's not terribly so. I think the Goliath died again. You get one restart. After that, you're gone. I think I might need to go and turn on a light in a minute. It's getting kind of dark in here. In fact, I think I will go and do that now. But one of the nice things you can do is you can just zoom out and just let things happen. So I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to go and turn the light on and take a very quick break. If you need to get another drink or something like that, I'd recommend you do so now. But I will just leave this running in the background, so we'll let it go. The other Minotaurs you can name Nelashar's Labyrinth. Who's Nelashar? Well, that's up to the DM and players to decide later. Alright, we call these... Instead of me dim, you want to... you want them to lose the fantastic name of me dim. Just going to double check they're not of the same kingdom. No, they are not. Oh wait, it was the city we were renaming, isn't it? Nalastar. Moomood! Oh, I am loving how aggressively these guys are expanding. Oh, we have a war. Our first war between the Drow Elves and the Wood Elves, and it looks like the Drow are losing to the Wood. Hang on, is there supposed to be sound? Yes, yes there is. Oops. Were you conquered? Kingdom Neotarai, Kingdom Neotarai. Yes, you were. So the Wood Elves have actually conquered the Drow Elves now. And there is another Wood Elf settlement that has started. We've got Tor, who have also expanded from the Dromacaith. Man, look at this. They're really starting to build a civilization down here. They have ships, they have multiple ports. I've never actually seen a nation build more than one. And Castanin City is getting very close. Castanin have also expanded now. Meanwhile, the Gnolls are still alive. The Mountain Dwarfs are expanding, so are the Plains Dwarfs. In fact, it looks like the Plains Dwarfs, yeah, they're at war with the Trolls. And one of the ships is actually shooting back at them, because the Plains Dwarfs don't have ships yet. But it does look like the Plains Dwarfs are winning. You can see the population dropping. And once that number starts to go up, you can see that they're actually conquering it. There we go, they're conquering it. And there we go. So the Eastern Trolls have now been conquered by the Plains Dwarves. Southern Trolls, meanwhile, have actually spread into the desert, where apparently cactuses are sprouting like crazy. Mood. Oh, that's never gonna get old. have another Western human nation down here. Another Northern human city also establishing themselves. Jamo. Who's... Oh, this is a second Castanin Empire. And we've got Fairshore going after the Western Trolls. This one is a bit closer, though. It does look like Fairshore may have made a bad decision here. No, it's the Western Trolls conquering Fairshore. And something you can actually see is you can see what equipment these guys are using. So he's got bronze armor, he's got a steel sword somehow. That's remarkably high tech for this era. And Fairshore does have a ship. So the boat humans are going to be fighting back with their naval power. These guys have a fishing boat. You can see a couple of them have started establishing navies now. Oh, they have a big ship. One thing I really do wish you could do is click on these buildings to see what the hell they are. Like, there are some buildings, like this one. That's not a house. That's something else, but I don't know what. Like, apparently there are, like, mines. This. No idea. Oh, they're being conquered. Looks like the Western Trolls. Yeah, there we go. So the Western Trolls have taken out the boat people. The boat humans have been conquered. I think there's a big old war going on over here, judging by all the banners. That's where the armies are moving. I think. Maybe. No, they are. Is that Wood Elves? No, that's the Western humans fighting the Northern humans. And they're about to conquer the Northern humans. There they go, Northern humans have been conquered. The High Elves have actually got agriculture up and running now. And a mine. Ooh. They're doing quite well. And they have a training ground too. I've never seen a training ground before. They also have a mine. So the mines are kind of interesting because they generate resources around them. So even in areas where there are no resources to get... We've got mushrooms. They're able to create their own. I've got farming as well. The two dwarven realms doing very well. The desert dwarves are gone. I wonder if the Nefertine Empire is going to go after the Western Trolls at some point, or the Castanin. Castanin look like they've lost a lot of ground. Are they being attacked by a Nefertine? I don't think so. Castanin are the bunny rabbits. Yes, they are. The king of the Nefertine is over here, in fact. No, they're bouncing back. So they were fighting against someone and apparently survived. Now we should be seeing these guys using equipment made out of the resources. Like, they've actually mined quite a lot of the mithril. But no, their equipment's still kind of shoddy. And the other cool thing you can do is if you click on these guys and then... the Bee Kingdom? See, the villages belong to them. There's a way of seeing their tech level. Oh, you've actually got money. I don't think I've noticed that before. Maybe it's this one. You can see the resources of the town. So they have meat, worms, fish, herbs, mushrooms, berries, bones, fertilizer, and lots of gold. They haven't learned writing yet, so no books. Overpopulated. I could have sworn there was a way of seeing tech. I don't remember how far. Oh. Nefertine Empire has established a colony in the islands. Meanwhile, these guys' population, these are boat humans, has grown massively, but they still haven't developed a society because there just wasn't space. Why is the Castellan population so low? That was something. Yeah, they are fighting the Nefertine Empire. And that would be a hard war to win. Zarket, who's this? Southern Troll. So one of the Southern Trolls broke away from the regular Southern Trolls. Eastern Trolls broke away from the Plains Dwarves, but are now being reconquered. There we go, reconquered. Oh! The elves, the high elves, just fell to ogres. That's the reverse from our game. Well, no, it's the Minotaurs who conquered the ogres, and then the Minotaurs and the ogres fought against the high elves and beat them. The Minotaurs seem to be doing pretty well. Actually, really well. Good population base. 2 separate kingdoms. Oh, what the hell has happened over here? Okay, the corruption is definitely spreading. The Underdark is growing. And the Wood Elf nation is dead. Like, wiped out by something. Well, that's a bit scary. What the hell did that? It's just an abandoned city. Meanwhile, over here, the Conquest Goblins... Are they separated? Kingdom Zakadrog. Kingdom Darop. Yes, they have. So we've got 2 different Conqueror Goblin realms over here now. The Western humans look like they're doing quite well. I'm not surprised by that. The Western human territory is pretty nice. Nefertine Empire, 168 population now. They could do some serious damage to someone if they wanted to. I'm a little bit surprised they've not gone after the boat humans, so I guess Western Troll is actually really high population now. The Castellan is down to a person. There we go. The Castellan have been conquered by nobody. It's just abandoned. So like the elves, the Castellan have just died out. Oh, and the halflings have been conquered. By the Western Trolls. Wait. Huh. The Western Trolls conquered the halflings, split out from the Western Trolls. Or the boat people took out the halflings, and then the halflings split out as a troll nation. There's actually 2 cities now. See, this game gets interesting when all of this weird stuff happens. You just got to spend a little bit of time setting stuff up and just watch it go. I really do wish I could remember how to see technology. Who's this? Western Trolls up here. Okay, they've travelled a bit. Western Trolls seem to be taking over a lot of things. Millet. Yeah. The Minotaurs and the remnants of the Wood Elf territories. So we still have Centaur? I'm not seeing any. Up here I think the Minotaurs have actually wiped them out. Meanwhile, over here, the Inferno has actually disappeared. Oh, the permafrost is growing. What age are we in? Oops, still. Did I put any zombies on the map? No, I haven't. Have I ever given RimWorld a Dwarf Fortress a go? I have played a lot of RimWorld. I used to stream that, and more on YouTube. I think it was when I was doing more YouTube than streaming. So yes, lots of RimWorld. Dwarf Fortress I tried, I did not like it. I think it was just too fiddly, I just didn't enjoy it. The Greens have a lot of ships. I don't think I've ever seen a nation with this large a navy. Usually they get like a boat and then they're happy. Calradian Empire has declared war, so that's the... It's the dwarves. Ah, against... What's this? Southern Trolls. So I think this is a coalition of the Plains Dwarves and the Mountain Dwarves fighting against the Trolls. It's still just using wooden sticks. Like, what the hell is up with you guys? Where's your technology, people? Deluded Denial, a legendary weapon. High finesse. Swamp spreading too? No, I don't think so. They wiped out the Trolls. They didn't want to conquer them, they just straight up destroyed them. I guess this was the land formerly controlled by the Desert Dwarves. And they are actually building out in the sand, so the desert is being inhabited. Something's burning over there. That's a large army. Who are these? Western Trolls fighting against the Ogres. These guys are using bows. Lots of archers, actually. Yeah, they are trying to conquer Zizog. Oh, the cows are carrying tools. Yeah, he's got a spear in his mouth. And an axe. I was wondering if they were going to display like what equipment these guys were using. That's hilarious. He's got a bow. Love it. Looks like agriculture is spreading a little bit. $230 people now. That's way more than Nefertine. Oh, Nefertine's fighting the Western Trolls. That war has finally broken out, and it doesn't look like Nefertine's doing well. Everyone's still got really basic equipment. They may take Fairshore. There's a large contingent of archers up there. It does look like, oh yeah, Nefertine's losing so many people. Naval battle going on. That city was just too big. I'm actually genuinely surprised anyone's been able to face up against Nefertine. I guess they just didn't get any allies. Fairshore split away. Did Nefertine win? Was that their objective? Both humans are independent. I actually kind of say it's the dwarves doing the best. They've just taken out the other city here. The dwarves are slowly but surely taking the trolls out. Oh, big war. Yeah, it's the Minotaurs fighting against the... Who are they? Who are they? Ogres. Asterion is about to fall. These guys are still holding out. Asterion's down to 0 population now. Meanwhile, the corrupted forest continues to grow. These two are about to meet. I was not expecting the permafrost and the corruption to just grow. Like a little bit, maybe. Well, we are into a year 124, so yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm surprised the permafrost is growing though. The Moonatours. Yes, exactly that. Moonatours. I like it. Conqueror goblins are still really populous. Nefertine's still alive. Fairshore is actually bigger than Nefertine, but Nefertine's in such a wealthy area they should be able to bounce back pretty fast. Like, there's still loads of food around. In fact, if we click on Nefertine and then go to their stockpile... Oh man! 900 bread! Still no books though. Hasn't been invented yet. How do I see technology? Knowledge. Here we go. But I don't think this is just technology. This is stuff that they know that's out in the world. There's tech. They have 239 out of the 768. Is this my knowledge? I think I've seen necromancers and plague doctors, I think. This might be mine. I don't know. Oh, they're actually building platform. Because I know that they build roads to connect territories, and they're actually building platforms because, well, makes sense. Oh, we have a settlement here. Who's this? Southern trolls are on the Gnome Island. And I think they've just eaten all the gnolls. What's that? There's a person. Do we still have humans here? No. These are just boxes. So the boat humans here have died out. Several of these islands are now being colonized. Oh, hang on. Who are these? These humans? Southern humans, okay. These must be Western humans, yes. Western human population's pretty big. Yeah, the Western humans would be kind of scary. And they are now fighting somebody. Nefertine Empire was destroyed. Oh my gosh, it was as well. Western trolls took them out. I did not think that would happen. But it's the the Western humans fighting against the goblins. Oh, that's a big war. Look how much the population of this has gone down. Iron armor, mithril helmet. This guy's well off. He's almost dead though. Oh no, he got sniped by the ship. Oh, what a way to go. Western humans still have a lot of troops available though. So do the Conqueror goblins. This is probably going to be one of the biggest wars. Unless the dwarves go after the trolls again, I think that would be a pretty big fight. Down to 42, 41. I think that Drummercaith may well fall. And they've certainly taken a lot of damage. Mithril helmets don't help against ship weapons, yeah, that's true. I do think that the ship damage needs to be toned down a little bit against the shore. So there are a lot of ships. Big ones too. It would be nice to get a little more information about them, but you can see like their hit points. Kingslayer killed a king and survived the aftermath. Huh. You can see what things they're thinking about. He was just thinking about sailing. Fleeing, moving, searching, idle. Okay, we'll just have the same icon. Oh! Drummercaith has fallen. This is Western humans. Kingdom. They're an independent kingdom. They split off. Nefertine's recovering, population-wise. Another nice thing here is you can see what people reside in the city, and this is where you can start seeing like the multicultural nations. So for example, Nefertine at the moment has 47% Western Troll, 38% Southern Human, 11% Boat Human, and 3.2% Western Human. Nin Orai. These guys. Meanwhile, another island has been colonized. And the dwarven nations just continue to just get bigger and bigger. So it looks like the hilly areas, you can walk across them, but you can't build anything on them. Oh no. No, that was swamp. You can build on the swamps, but you can't build on the hills. Which is probably why the rock gnomes struggled. Is there a way to adjust the relationship between the various races and subtypes? Yes. I think you can basically provoke them to go to war or force them to make peace. I don't know whether there's like a numerical thing that you can play with anywhere. Numerical relationships. Oh, the permafrost and the corruption have now spread into each other. What are these? Ogres. There are 600 ogres now. So this is why I really want to get an overview of the different sub-races so I can see who has like the highest population and stuff. I'm fairly sure I've seen a way of doing that, I just don't remember how. Well, I guess I can just flip this way. "162 Western humans, 3 Eastern trolls, they're almost gone. 170 Southern trolls, 184 Western. 62 Southern humans, only 10 Northern humans left. 83 Boat humans. 20 High Elves. 229 Minotaurs. The Minotaurs are doing okay. Conqueror Goblins, 130. Island Goblins, 62. Ogres, 379. It does kind of look like they're doing the best. Oh no, hang on. Mountain Dwarves, 191. Plains Dwarves, 232. Stats about the world. Families created, families destroyed, languages created, languages forgotten 9, subspecies created 501. One book has been written. Somebody has actually got writing now. 8 religions, 2 religions forgotten. Most populated village, Ediril. Biggest village. I guess that's in terms of buildings. Most populated kingdom. Dominating culture, Ayatroy. High Elven. Primarily ogres now. That's interesting. I think that was these guys. Been a laugh, the cows are the ones who wrote the book and it's called How to Serve Man. Oh, got a war going on. And these icons, I have no idea what those mean. Like, clearly this is him trying to do something. Looks like a giant snail in a house, I don't really understand. And there's no context, I can't click on it or anything. Looks like they took Drummondcaith back. Cullodane's down to just 1 population. Nefertine's bounced back, 103 pop. Someone's actually tried to build a city up here. And you're building up into the permafrost. Do you have Goliaths in here? Nope, that's 100% Conqueror Goblin. So yeah, I think the Goliaths just straight up just died out. Probably wolves or something at the start of the game. Well, lesson learned. Be very careful with wolves. Somebody's conquering Drummondcaith. Oh, it's them taking it back. Drummondcaith's just flip-flopping. What was once the most popular city in the world has 3 people living in it. It is on the very, very edge of just straight up being abandoned. 2, 1, 4, 3. There's now a fire going on in the middle of it. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Abandoned. The most popular city in the world has now been abandoned. Madness. That is a large group of dwarves moving. Where are they off to? Here. Right, this was... Where's Conqueror Goblins? Drumcade was destroyed. Oh, we have a war going on here. This is the Minotaurs fighting against ogres. 733 of them now. What's that? I think that is ogres. Oh, Minotaurs rather. Who are they fighting? Maybe they're not fighting. Why aren't they fighting? I want to fight. I'm also waiting for these two for their alliance to implode and for them to go to war with each other. It does happen. Sometimes. Though I can say looks like a snail, looks like a book to me, so it's reading, creating a book or researching. Yeah, possibly. I just wish there was some more information, like the ability to click on it. Be like, this guy is reading a book right now. I did have one game that I did where the only elven nation was an island like Teuton, where there was the only place left, but they were hyper advanced. Like, they had a king who was alive for like 300 years, and all he wanted to do was write books. So they were just so far ahead of the others in terms of technology. Like, they were just completely left alone. People were like, nah, I'm good. You have machine guns, we have like sticks. Oh, another war going on up here. Yin Ogre fighting against Minotaurs. Looks like the Minotaurs are going to take the... Sorry, the Ogres are going to take the Minotaurs. Yep, they did. Oh, and over here. They're trying. They're really, really trying. Poor Minotaurs. They've been up against it. Not Mumud! Oh, burning down the mill. There goes their food supply. Populations disappear. And them. I think this is it for the Minotaurs. The ogres have just been too aggressive. Nuln Star's just been destroyed. Mumud's been destroyed. That's it, the Minotaurs are gone. The entire Northern Empire is just... Which is kind of what happened when the elves and the Minotaurs went to war. Once the elves had their big comeback in the real setting. Meanwhile, these guys have been relatively peaceful for quite a while now. The population in these cities is just blooming. Oh, we've got another war. Roreg. These are southern trolls fighting against plains dwarves. That ship is causing problems, because they don't seem to have many archers. They're about to take it. Done. And now it's on their side. But has been built. That is an orcish settlement, however. There are little bits of grassland appearing over here in the savannah. There's now just a huge amount of territory up here that can just be built in, I think. Doesn't look like the corruption's growing anymore. I think that's more or less halted at this point. I think that kingdoms, if they have good enough magic, can stop them. Fair Shore is fighting the Southern Trolls. So these are the boat humans who have split out, fighting against the Southern Trolls, but it does look like the Southern Trolls are going to win here. Not necessarily, there's another front down this side. They have a lot of ships. It's not looking good. There it goes. Fair Shore has been conquered by the Southern Trolls. These guys are still fighting. Dwarves are up here. Who's this? Mountain dwarves. That's a heck of a migration. Blimey. Also this icon. I have no idea what that icon is. Pot Pog has grown pretty significantly. It'd be interesting if the Plains Dwarves go after the Western or the Southern Trolls. Plains Dwarves versus Western Trolls with this population would be kind of a blinding war. This is Fair Shore fighting the Western Trolls, and that's a war you want to win. I am very sorry to say. Western humans have expanded themselves, taking Gakper. Det is holding out on its own. Is that one of theirs? Yes. Owned by the Western Trolls and Nefertine. Oh, here we go. Big war. Not big, but it's a war. It's the remnants of the boat humans? Yes. Fighting against the Western Trolls. Quite a heavy naval presence here, though. It's been conquered by another green. Well, whoever it was, they've been conquered. That is a human. It's the Western humans, these guys. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're taking, like, this entire coast, basically. Loads of space. Oh, they've taken Nefertine! Oh, wow. The Western Trolls are kind of finding themselves surrounded at this point. It does look like the Western humans are doing quite well. What's going on up here? Conqueror goblins fighting against ogres. like they're trying to expand anywhere else. Wait, is that actually owned by them? No, these are primarily Western trolls. I think Nefertine split out from these guys. It's not actually owned by them. Because it's a Orcish territory, not a human one. But anyway, I think that I am going to call this one here. I've been streaming a lot today, and I'd quite like to have an actual break and probably play some more Britonia. So if you've enjoyed this, hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this and you'd like to see more of this type of thing, please do consider subscribing. Helps the channel out, lets me do more of this kind of content. I know this was a bit different from my usual fare. I just wanted to try this because I thought it was kind of cool seeing the simulation and building up the world. I think we did a fairly decent job of it, considering this took us all of, what, 3 hours to build the world, build the different sub-races, and then simulate. I might make a save and just let this simulate overnight or something like that, because I'm kind of curious to see what happens to the world. But for now, I'm going to call this stream here. So thanks everyone for watching, hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, 12 PM, Central European time, probably for Small Britonia. Or maybe I'll do the vampire counts. Really been enjoying that Britonia game, but I also kind of want to play as the bad guy for a bit. To be determined. Stay tuned. We will make the decision tomorrow. Until then, though, thanks everyone, and I'll see you later. Until then. Britonia are the bad guys. They use horses. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.